That's right, Christian, and we're not saying that this informal poll should be ignored, but a few things have to be said about the poll. In the first place, obviously, the GHA very much respects the work that is conducted by doctors and consultants. That obviously goes without saying, but this informal discussion document only polls 31 doctors out of a total of 82 doctors, and of course that means that the results are skewed, and you cannot properly give weight to a poll that does not take into account, for example, the other very important sector of the GHA, which are the GPs, and which have not been included in this poll. One of the statistics that is mentioned by the opposition in the press release is the fact that 13% of doctors will be leaving in the next 6 months, and that is one of the very few points that they make in the very short statement. But the opposition does not say that 2 of those consultants are leaving because they are retiring. One of those consultants had his contract come to an end and voluntarily leaving to the country of origin, and the 4th consultant that is retiring, in other words, the entirety of the 4 which will be leaving in the next 6 months, wrote an extremely heartfelt email to the GHA thanking the management for always being there and supporting him and for having provided the best years of his life to the GHA. And of course, if one were to consider other comments and other emails and other information that comes to the GHA, then the picture is not the partisan, distorted picture that the opposition paints, which, it has to be said, the only thing that is shocking about the statement is that they fail to mention that even with the skewed results of only polling 31 doctors, 61% of that number say that they do not feel low on morale.
Mr Costa, are you confident that there is good morale within the hospital? Because we've been reading doctors talking on social media, and they say that there are efficiencies being introduced now to the point where there might not even be doctors on call over Christmas. Are these claims true?
Well, Christine, in the first place, you can't surely expect me to comment on comments that you have seen online that I have not. But look, in a structure like the GHA, where there are so many employees, there is bound to be pockets of persons who are not entirely satisfied. I have received, Christine, so therefore I can talk about it, 2 separate emails from 2 separate consultants who have expressed their views as to how communication could be better effected between GHA management and them, and I've already arranged to meet them. The Medical Advisory Committee, which is a statutory body, had not met under the GSD, and my predecessor, John Cortes, reactivated. The Medical Advisory Committee has met 3 times already this year, and the whole purpose of this statutory body is to be able to advise the GHA management on clinical issues. And they have done that. They actually advised the GHA management on the fact that the medical director should be able to give more of his time on medical duties, because of course the medical director is also a clinician. How do we achieve that? By appointing a deputy medical director. That was the advice of the Medical Advisory Committee, and the GHA management took that on board, and only last week the GHA now boasts of a medical director that can spend more time attending to director issues because he is supported by a deputy medical director.
Well, we hear that on average there's a 4-hour waiting time on A&E. Do you think that this does anything for morale?
I have personally met with A&E, and of course, as you would expect, I was shown, and the A&E is actually very proud of the services they provide, and in fact is, as I was told, a happy department. 4 hours is the average of persons who may be waiting at the worst end of the scale. But that means that it's an average. There'll be people who will be seen a lot quicker than 4 hours. And if you're talking about morale of the staff, I can tell you, because I received an email from one of the consultants at the A&E who said to me, and he concluded the email by saying, yours from an extremely happy department. So I do not think, no, that there is low morale.